This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. Today we have a Bosch dishwasher that is not heating well. It's not producing any steam. The cycle takes forever. It's not drying the dishes. So the heating portion of the dishwasher is not working, and it's really easy to fix. It's a very common problem with Bosch dishwashers, which are most of the time excellent dishwashers, but they do have this common problem with the heating relay getting loose on the control panel. So we're going to remove all of these Torx 15 screws, the ones that hold on the top console. We're going to remove the console, and we're just going to resolder one of the little joints that holds on the heater relay. So I'm pulling back on the console, separating it from the door. I'm lifting up and pulling back toward me so I can get the console out. And then I can remove some of these modular connectors. There's one here on the left that's for the start switch, so I'm going to pull that one out, and then there's a little ground wire. I'm going to press down on this tab and release it. And then there's all these ones here on the control. I'm going to take a picture of it first though, so I make sure I get all the right wires back on reassembly. I'm going to pull out all those modular connectors, and then I'll be able to take the whole console off and kind of work with it separate from the dishwasher. So we're just pressing in on the little releases and then pulling these modular connectors free. So now we have the whole console free, and I'm going to use a standard head screwdriver to pry back slightly on these tabs that hold the frame part of the console to the outside plastic shell where the buttons are. I want to separate those two. And I just have to press in on these tabs to release them, and you can hear them click. And now I can pull the bottom part out, and then the top part will release. And I can separate the middle frame of the console from the plastic shell. Sometimes on dishwasher repair, I'll just sit down on a seat in front of the dishwasher so it's easier to get to all these parts. So we've got that separated, and now I want to get the control to be free of the metal frame, and there's just three little plastic tabs holding that in. I'm going to press down with the standard head screwdriver, and then I can release them, and I can slide the control out and separate it from the metal frame. Now the control has a few plastic tabs that I'm going to pull back on, and this will allow me to open up the plastic case where the circuit board is. So I want to get behind this circuit board, behind the heater relay. So I'm going to push back on a few more tabs, and here's the back of the circuit board, and I noticed that one of the soldering joints looks a little bit burned and looks like it's not connected anymore. So it's this one right here. And I'm going to take a sharp tool, and I'm going to scribe in around that solder joint to expose the metal part of the circuit board. So there's just like a little dental tool, and I'm going to scribe in, and now I'll get my soldering pencil warmed up, and I'll heat up that part of the heater relay, and then I'll get some fresh solder, and I'll make that joint much better. Just be careful that the solder only goes to this one point, just the one that seemed loose. Don't let the solder spread to anything else, because it could cause a short circuit. So now the heater relay is connected again, and when the computer wants to send power to the heater, it has a way to do it. Before, that soldering joint got so hot that it melted and no longer was making contact. And this happens a lot with Bosch dishwashers. So we've got it all done. I'm going to put the circuit board back into its case till it clicks, and then I'll put its top back on. I'll fold the top back on, and I'll get all those clicked in. So I've got the controller all reassembled and it's now repaired. You can also just buy a new controller, but they cost maybe $150. And this is just like maybe 20 cents of solder and you're done. So I got everything back in. I'm just putting the door assembly back on. I sped it up here a little bit because it's just me zipping in these Torx 15 screws. And then once you plug it back in, you can fire it up. And after about maybe 10 minutes into a cycle, if you open the door, you should get some steam. And the steam would be indicating that the heater is working again. Very seldom does the heating elements on the Bosch fail. Almost always it's the heater relay that lives up in the control. And it's not really the relay itself, but it's the solder for some reason just doesn't hold up after about 8 years. So we got it all back together. We're going to start a cycle. And then again, about at the 10-minute mark, we're just going to look to see if we get some steam. Just going to open the door. So I got some nice steam. Even with my video glasses, they even fogged up. So we know it's working again. And pretty easy way to get these Bosch dishwashers going without a whole lot of money. Just got to do some basic soldering. And it's good to get the joint really clean first before you attempt to solder it. And it's good to get your soldering pencil really warmed up. So thanks so much for watching, and please subscribe when you get a chance. Thank you.